Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to another day of Before Coffee. It's Mucking Fun Day. Welcome back from the weekend. Did you have a good one? Was it? Well, it's over, sadly, and we're going to tell you all the news from the weekend and today, so you don't have to worry about it.
I'll try not to mumble too much. I will not mumble as much as I usually do, and I'm almost sober, so we're almost there.
This is the first and only international game show Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories 10 to 15 minutes before we started. We just got caffeine in our body. We're learning to read live on stream. So let's roll that segue wheel and get into today's headlines from Mucking Fun Day.
Talk about cops.
Today on Mucking Fun Day. Defense analyst on Putin's nuclear-powered super torpedo. Why use it when you have nuclear missiles?
Oh, yes, and we have the bad boy arrest. The bad boys, the cops in Mississippi, are under arrest, 14 of them, for a drug ring. Plus, we have the Chinese and British authorities trying to figure out how to return $6.7 billion in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin? What about 306 kilos of precious metals? That's right. The loot from the robbery of a gold refinery in Lyon estimated at 20 million euros.
And more cops being bad boys. Former Tennessee troopers say DUI quotas led to arrests of sober drivers. And Tennessee officials dropped charges against a man jailed for nearly a month, over a month, for talking, for memes. Ridiculous, right?
In my culture news, cabaret and memories, Madrid honors Mexico's Day of the Dead with citywide altars.
And it's National Broadcast Traffic Professionals Day. So we have a pile up in the 301 and the interchange of 92 and the 74 is moving kind of slow. And we got to slow down on that interchange over there under the Johnson Bridge. And everybody should be good. And our sponsors today is Johnson Bridge Company, who's building Johnson Bridge since 1942. It's today, November 3rd, 2025 on Before Coffee. November 2nd is the normal day for National Broadcast Traffic Professionals Day. There you go. It's a Sunday. They put it out on Monday this year. That's the only reason I said November 2nd. I was saying November 2nd, but every place else is November 3rd. So I'm pretty sure I got the right day.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am. I know what day it is. Okay.
Okay, well, now that we've got the date right and we know what we're doing today, let's go ahead and roll our segue right, so we know what we're saying as well.
Yeah, let's have the official log for the day.
It's a bad pun. A bad pun about nuclear submarines. Yeah, let's just keep on threatening. Reminder, last week was getting rid of nukes, and look at that. The next week, Putin's building a freaking nuclear submarine. Or I guess he already built it. He's threatening people with it. This is a story from DR, which is a Danish news source.
Danish.
From Jacob Slinborg. According to Vladimir Putin, Russia is one step closer to being able to put a new weapon into service. On Wednesday, which was October 29th, the Russian leader announced that the country had tested a nuclear-powered super torpedo named Poseidon the day before, writes Reuters. It's a huge success. There's nothing like this, he said, according to Reuters. He further said that the torpedo was successfully fired from a submarine. According to Russian state media TASS, the first Poseidon torpedo should have already been produced by the beginning of the 3. The medium also describes how Poseidon will allegedly create radioactive waves that could make coastal areas uninhabitable to activity. At the same time, the Poseidon torpedo will have a very long range because it will be equipped with its own nuclear-powered engine that can bring the torpedo's nuclear warheads to targets very far from the submarine that launches it. On paper, it might sound like a weapon that James Bond could just as well spend an entire film preventing the supervillain from producing. But Johannes Ribber, a military analyst at the Danish Defense Academy, is not blown away by Putin's new weapon. It wouldn't be the first time that a Russian has told about a new superweapon that we would never actually see in use on the battlefield. But is this a super weapon? It can do a lot of damage if it hits a coastal city, but it can only hit the coast, for example. A nuclear missile can hit anywhere, so why would he use this one to destroy a city instead of hitting it with a missile? The Johannes River continues. And then the thing about it being undetectable, I don't buy it anyways, because if there's one thing that underwater nuclear engines are known for, is that they're really, really noisy. And they don't mean sound noise, they mean visual. The radiation, right? It will show up on a radar because it's like, what's that huge, giant nuclear energy wave over there? Oh, it's a nuclear torpedo coming for us straight ahead. His assessment is that Putin proposes in purpose is talking about the allegedly successful test is to deter the West and show that we have a weapon that the opponent may not have. This is not a weapon that changes the entire dynamics of security policy. And because the torpedo has a nuclear warhead, it essentially opens the door to a nuclear conflict that is used. Throughout the conflict in Ukraine, the question has lurked, does Putin dare to use more than 5,000 nuclear warheads that Russia possesses? So far, thank God, the answer has been no. And the new nuclear torpedo doesn't change that. I think I would just say the risk of him using this is just as great as that of him using any other nuclear weapon. And the risk of Russia using a nuclear weapon has not increased by the fact that they have now announced that one has been tested, the Johannes River. It has not been many days since Russia, according to Putin, tested the nuclear-powered cruise missile Voronezh Storm Swallow. The missile was supposed to have a range of 14,000 kilometers, which I don't know how long that is. Visually, I know it's a long way, but I don't know how much that is. And what can that hit? Can it something? Probably everyone on the planet. Let's just go with that. He has a missile that can hit everyone on the planet. And I'm sure everyone else has a missile that can do that. The only reason you reveal, I have to agree with Johannes here, right? The only way you ever reveal some sort of military success is to be like, watch out guys, I've got a scary weapon. And that's it. Everyone else is keeping their military successes a secret. That's my story. You're muted. Can't hear you.
That's because I was coughing. Sorry. Here's my pun. Totally not shocked. Totally not shocked that Moscow is rushing at putting more people in danger. Okay, two puns for the price of one. Do I get the next joke off?
There you go. I got there. For some reason, when you open the soundboard, it takes 5 seconds to load. There you go. Thank you for your pun. That's my only story. So let's roll the segue.
I gotta be soundboard ready. Okay, I'll be soundboard ready after my first two stories. One short, one long.
I've got to write you a limerick for your stories.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll talk slow. I'll talk slow for the first one, and then the second one I'll really talk fast just to make up. Or you can just take all the time and write two limericks at the end. That'll be fine. We're going to talk about Chinese and British authorities are determining how to return 61,000 stolen bitcoins, which are not physical things that actually exist in real life. They're totally electronically created. You can't put your fingers on them. That's why they're called non-fungible. The Jawai Morales of TomShardware.com That's the name of the website. I swear to you. The British Metropolitan Police seized more than 61,000 bitcoins earlier this month for convicted Chinese national Zemin Huan, also known, or it could be Khan, also known as Yadi Zhang, and dubbed the Bitcoin Queen. Now China and the UK government are working together to trace the movement of the stolen funds and identify additional fugitives with the hope of returning the funds to the victim. According to the South China Morning Post, police in Tianjin, a city in the northern part of the country, are doing everything possible to track the more than 128,000 investors who were duped by the fake investment schemes from 2014 to 2017. Holy crap. Holy crap. Boy, these people just lost a lot of money for scams. The syndicate converted the proceeds from the crime into Bitcoin and property to hide their tracks, but Khan's guilty plea has finally allowed the authorities to begin the recovery efforts. However, the cross-border nature of the crime, the large number of victims, and the skyrocketing value of Bitcoin have complicated matters. Skyrocketing for now, that's not troubling to any investors. Is skyrocketing? Isn't it a little like something that has no intrinsic value is skyrocketing? Isn't that just troublesome a little bit? God, boy, when this thing collapses, there are going to be a lot of poor motherfuckers. Tianjin authorities have already contacted claimants via an online platform, but they warned them that the process can take time. A few experts even doubted whether the victims would be compensated at all. They're not getting shit. I'm just going to tell this. I'm going to announce that 128,000 victims, you're going to get 5 of them compensated. And those are going to be the 5 richest ones. Everybody else is going to sit there and go, oh, money's gone. I guess I eat worms now. Some members of the British government want to keep most of the seized Bitcoin, suggesting they will only return the original sum. Yeah, the British government, hey, yeah, we're seizing the Bitcoin, but we're going to give you back the value of Bitcoin when it was stolen from you, not the value of it if you would have kept it, right? It's just like, okay, this is how we do things. We get things on the margin, just like investors do. Suggesting that we'll only return the original sum. However, others have cautioned against this, as it will likely cause diplomatic tension and would not be a good look internationally for the UK. If they were ripping off UK citizens, I could see it, but they were ripping off mostly world citizens. Furthermore, it's bound to be a protracted legal battle before the funds can be even released, whether to the victims or the British government. So there's not a whole lot of details yet, just it's a big damn mess. And yeah, you're hiding your profits in Bitcoin, a good way to money launder. Another way, casinos are a great place to money launder. If you stole $100,000, what you do is you take $500, go to the casino, buy $500 worth of chips, go to the roulette wheel, bet $100, spend about an hour there, go back, cash in your chips. Now you got a different, right?
Yeah.
You say gambling losses, or you just take your chips home, coming back some other day and cash them in. You can actually leave with chips. I wouldn't advise it. Somebody knock you over the head, but they got chips. What the hell is that? Anyway, there's your story. You got a limerick yet?
Yes, I have a limerick. My limerick is: in a wallet I thought I had found, my lost bitcoins are nowhere around. I turned to the Brits with their posh little wits. Please lend me a hand with the sound. There you go. Because it's also play on words. Because bits.
I don't even.
You know, like.
I'm not hearing it.
Like data. Bits are also data, like sound bits. There's your.
Right. Nice.
Your clever little thing there. Next story.
Okay, I was making sure all my buttons were working, man. It wasn't working the first time I hit it. Like, dang, what the heck? The soundboard's broken. Somebody call a repairman. Get that Bitcoin. We pay the repairman in Bitcoin, just like we pay our writers. We pay our writers in starvation. I mean, lack of starvation, we'll say that. We feed them when they come with a good thing.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody. More nefarious nonsense in the news. This one's cops complicating law by breaking it. And what's the law? I don't know. The cops make the laws now. They don't even care. Mississippi FreePress.org has a story from Nick Juden. FBI sting snares 14 Mississippi law enforcement officers in alleged Delta drug conspiracy. They already gave it a nice, sweet name. Isn't it? Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Maybe they can come with a cool nickname for the leader. A wide-ranging, Oxford, Mississippi, wide-ranging FBI sting ensnared some of the top law enforcement officials around multiple Mississippi Delta counties in what agency is calling a Delta drug conspiracy. FBI officials alleged that over a dozen law enforcement officials across Mississippi have been engaged in a complex long-running drug trafficking operation. An early morning raid on October 30th, around 5 a.m. That's a good time to bust people when they're just tossing and turning and shit. Here comes the feds. Federal agents arrested the sheriffs of 2 counties, Sheriff Bruce Williams of Humphreys County and Sheriff Milton W. Gaston of Washington County. The FBI also arrested Marvin Flowers, the chief deputy of Sunflower County. Oh, what a sweet name for a county. The full list of affected agencies and arrested officers cuts across numerous local agencies, municipal police departments, and sheriff's departments in the Delta. It's a big old web of criminals, allegedly. The first series of indictments concerned an alleged conspiracy where law enforcement officers and their accomplices are alleged to have agreed to provide safe passage for illegal narcotics and drug proceeds to the Mississippi Delta region, ultimately in the last of those runs into Memphis itself. Gee, isn't that nice? You got a police escort. Acting U.S. Attorney Joyner said in a Thursday afternoon press conference in Oxford, they did this in return for bribe payments for money. Bribe payments for money? It's kind of redundant. They're, Mr. Oxford sounds like you're educated, and then you roll out a sentence like that. Right? That is where the University of Mississippi is. They did this in return for bribe payments for money. Yeah, bribe payments for money, huh? Okay. They're also indicted for related firearms offenses and individual counts related to specific runs through the Mississippi Delta. Here's the name of these fun people who are just like, yeah, we're sworn to protect the law, now we're breaking the law, and I hope we don't get locked up with any of those folks that we locked up. Oh boy, my life sucks. Bruce Williams, Sheriff of Humphreys County, Milton Gaston, Sheriff of Washington County, Brandon Addison of the Hollandale Police Department and the Humphreys County Sheriff's Office, Javery Howard of the Metcalf Police Department and Hollandale Police Department, Turon Grayson of the Humphreys County Sheriff's Office, Sean Williams of the Yazoo City Police Department, Dexter Franklin, Washington County Sheriff's Office, Wendell Johnson, Bolivar County Sheriff's Office, and some people with just names here. Marcus Nolan, Asan Roach, Jeremy Salas, Tario Shaz Weiserman, Pierre Lakes, and Derek Wallace. Again, we're reading their names. Doesn't mean they're guilty, but then again, the cops will put out somebody's mugshot on in the newspaper the next day. So I really don't care if their names are out there. Because the cops do this all the time to people that have not been convicted of anything. They just got arrested. Ruined everybody's reputation by putting their name out there, so screw them. Of course, these guys probably were criminals, right? Obviously, and they're turning each other in, obviously. Joyner alleged that the individuals acted in many cases as organized unit. A conspiracy implies definitely a network of people working together for a common purpose. And here we've already identified what the common purpose was. Getting that cash money for looking the other way. For instance, on large-scale indictment, the last 6 names that I read, that's what we internally refer to as the Memphis crew. Okay, they weren't even cops. These are just the Memphis crew. Because when those drugs got to the state line, those folks were recruited by someone who's already in the conspiracy that knew these folks would do that. Another indictment named Jamario Sanford of the Greenwood Police Department and Marvin Flowers, Chief Deputy of the Sunflower County Sheriff's Department. The indictment described the alleged transport of what defendants allegedly believed to be 25 kilograms of cocaine through the Mississippi Delta. 25 kilograms, real quick. 60 pounds? It's a lot of coke.
It's
enough to get you through the weekend. It's enough to get you through the weekend with a couple of dozen friends. The FBI announced individual indictments for Martavis Moore, Marquivius Bankhead, going into the Name Hall of Fame immediately. A Mississippi Highway Patrolman, Chaka Gaines.
That's
Gains
a great
lot
name.
Of cocaine, apparently. Yeah. Gains a lot of cocaine, gains a lot of money for selling the cocaine, or moving the cocaine, I should say. They're just the mules. They're not selling that shit. They're just moving from city to city. Chalky Gaines of the Greenville Police Department and the Dequarian Smith, who is both Humphreys County Sheriff Department and Isola Police Department. 2 indictments against other 2 individuals dismissed. While these indictments are now public, joiners stress that neither individual was implicated in any wrongdoing. The Mississippi Free Press is not naming those individuals. Okay, we're leaving these people's names out because why were you... Okay, they were not implicated. It says 2 indictments were dismissed. Got it. All the individuals arrested in today's federal sweep are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Joyner confirmed all the individuals have been granted bond, although which individuals has successfully bonded out is not known at this time. All right, so that's pretty much it. We don't want to drag this out with a whole bunch of cop speak going, well, we're going to congratulate and pat each other on the back and yabbity yabbity yabbity. But again, this went on right under the federal law enforcement's nose for all these years. They finally caught on to it. So wisen up is not their strong suit. They finally arrest somebody after all of these other people have been, made loads and loads of profits. And these cops, again, they should never, ever, ever see freedom again. They took a public trust and they abused it. So that's the way I feel about that. I don't care about them. They don't care about you. That's the way I see about it. Yeah. It's like, if you can't reform cops, you can't reform anybody. They're just not reformable. They're just criminals. That's who they are. They became cops so they could break the law. Anyway, so let's have a limerick.
Okay, my limerick is about our more corruption in... Well, not surprised. Honestly, I'm never surprised. In a city where shadows creep, corrupt cops have secrets to keep. They barter the law for cash they will jaw. In their pockets, the ethics they
Oh.
Why do I need to follow the law? I'm above the law. That was the first thing you ever learn in like government class, is that nobody is above the law, and yet everyone seems to be above it around us. I don't need to do that. That's for the losers. I'm not a loser.
I was talking to this priest one time, and he said, "Did you know that the people?" And I told him, he kind of agreed with me. I said, "I think the people that go to the church are the people that think they need it the most because they're doing the most sinning. That's the way I think." He goes, "Yeah, you're probably right." I'm like, "Okay, yeah," because I don't do enough wrong to go and ask for God for forgiveness. You know, I took a parking space from that guy. Oh, please, God, forgive me. No, I don't do that. I mean,
a parking space. Imagine.
Nah. Forgive your enemies is very important. Other than that. Anyway, so
let's roll our next segue.
Let's go and spin the wheel. Yeah, we're getting through this somehow. Let's segue the wheel. And let's wheel the segue.
It's a non sequitur.
Segment A2.
My next story is short and it's about 306 kilos of gold stolen from a place in Lyon. I'm not sure what the place is called, but once I can read the story, I swear it was translated in English. Now it's in French again. Oh, French. Whoa, French. 306 kilos of precious metals, not just gold, but it is a gold refinery, so it's not just gold. 5 men were arrested Thursday on the 30th of October, minutes after the robbery, in a safe house in Venezuela, where a woman was also present. The prosecutor explained today on the 3rd of November. A vertible arsenal was discovered during the searches conducted as part of the investigation. During the arrest of the suspects in an armed robbery of a gold refinery laboratory in Lyon, which involved explosives and military-grade weapons, law enforcement recovered more than 306 kilos of precious metals, estimated at 28 million euros, announced by Lyon Public Prosecutor Thierry Dran on November 3rd. A purchase estimate put the value of the stolen gold at 12 million euros. Earlier, it said it was 28 million. It's still a lot of money worth of stolen gold. 5 men were arrested minutes after the robbery in a safe house in Venezuela, where a woman was also present, the prosecutor explained. A veritable arsenal was discovered during the searches conducted as part of the investigation, as in they had a lot of weapons. The investigation established that the thieves stole a little over 300... Sorry?
I said Arsenal, not the soccer team. That's a
Yeah.
that's the name of
Not
a soccer club.
The Arsenal team was not in their apartment when they found it.
There might have been some hooligans, perhaps, from the soccer.
A little over 306 kilos of precious metals, mainly gold, with an estimated value of 28 million euros, continued Terry Duran. While in custody, the woman and one of the men denied their involvement, and the other four remained silent. Their appearance before investigating judges is underway. The prosecutor added, specifying that he had requested their indictment, notably for organized criminal conspiracy and armed robbery, as well as their detention. These are seasoned criminals, stressed Terry Duran. The 5 men have been convicted in the past, including 3 for robbery with violence. Repeat offenders, you hate to see it. On the 30th of October, in the early afternoon, men armed with assault rifles and handguns attacked the Mucking laboratory, specializing in the processing of precious metals, in particular gold, in the 7th arrondissement of Southern Lyon, using explosives. Oh, proper. There must be some sort of thing happening, right? First the Louvre gets attacked, and now every robber in the country is like, we can do it! We can have a huge robbery. If they can do it there, we can do it here. Dressed in black, some wearing balaclavas and fake French police-style armbands, the robbers were able to make up with initially estimated at euros by the source, but I think they actually found that it was 28. Videos filmed by the employees of the companies near the laboratory, direct witnesses to the robbery, showcased the assailants using a ladder across the fence of the attacked building and calmly loaded briefcases into a white van topped with a blue flashlight, parked on a path adjoining the fence. The robbers fled and then abandoned their van before setting it on fire in a neighboring town. Less than 2 hours after the robbery, well, that was a first mistake. Burn your van in a different town, then take your a totally different town. They burned the runaway vehicle in the town they were staying in. That
won't draw any attention. Setting something on fire, that's never going to draw attention.
Less than 2 hours after, they should have just stashed it somewhere, right? Crashed into the water or something. Yeah, setting a fire was a bad idea. Less than 2 hours after the robbery, 5 men and women were arrested in an apartment in Venezuela during an operation conducted by officers of the PRI, Research and Intervention Brigade, units of Lyon, Paris, and Dijon, as well as anti-gang squads. Assault rifles, handguns, and explosives were seized, along with all of the loot. 5 Mucking laboratory employees sustained minor injuries. In fact, the company was a target of an attempted armed robbery in May as well. So there's your whole dissertation on what happened in Lyon. They did not get away with it, but I guess learn from their mistakes. Nope. Please don't attempt an armed robbery. This is not my advice.
That's right. And
I am not liable for if you attempt an armed robbery.
Right. And I just wanted to point out as my non sequitur.
Yeah.
It's pointing over to my non sequitur. No one in the Arsenal Football Club was harmed during this operation.
Nobody took explosive damage. They're still going to be able to play. I don't even know if they have a game.
Well, they always got a game, man. They've either got something or a friendly. I don't think there's an off season in football, is there? They're always playing. It isn't like it's you just running up and down the field. What are you really doing anyway?
They're on the 4th of November. They have a game against Prague, Slavia Prague. So there you go. They're gonna make it. To the because they weren't injured in this attack in Lyon.
They weren't even involved. We turned that non sequitur into a total tangent. Congratulations.
Let's go to your next story with our segue wheel.
All right, my number 2 story is all about cops.
I'm gonna
bad boys.
Another hypothetical about cops not being bad. See if we can get there.
What you going to do? Okay, you're all hypothetical, are you? All right, we're going to talk about cops with both of these stories about Tennessee. First one is hey, you think you got free speech? Guess again, not in this country. Ha! You thought that was a thing, right? Silly you. TheGuardian.com, Guardian staff reporter, you may have heard this story. I don't know if we even reported on it with all the other absolute horse crap that's going on in this country. The reporter is named Guardian staff reporter, so I guess nobody's taking credit. Maybe they're afraid of getting fired or threatened or something by local whatevers. But anyway, Tennessee officials dropped charges against a man jailed over a Charlie Kirk meme. The authorities in Tennessee have dropped felony charge against a man who was jailed for more than a month over a Facebook post he made about
which is not a felony. Just to be, I'm not a lawyer, but not a felony.
That's right. The Facebook post he made about the 10 September killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. And again, Charlie Kirk, the guy who said empathy is a new age idea, it doesn't really exist. So I'm going to go ahead and this guy was just taking his advice, and let's go on with what he actually said that was, so offensive. Whereas many people across the U.S. lost their jobs over social media comments about Kirk's deaths, which again makes no fucking sense. No fucking sense. It's like, I'm sorry. Did anybody lose their job over comments when that Minnesota congresswoman and her husband were shot in the face and her dog was murdered and the mother too? Did anybody lose their job over comments on that? I don't think so. As a matter of fact, it's free speech, and your stupid job thinking they have a rule over your entire personal life is supposedly is not something that they should have. But again, they're going to say, we're going to dismiss you for cause, they'll say a lot of times. So anyway, being part of a fascist country, everybody's pre-defeated already given up all of our own freedoms in advance just to please no one. It's not pleasing anyone. It's never going to please them. It's never going to be enough. They're going to take away all your rights. They have none. And you can pretend you have them, but you just got them until they take them away, especially when you got a fascist running things. Whereas many people across the U.S. lost their jobs, let's talk about this. Larry Bushart's case stood out as one of the few instances where such online speech was led to criminal prosecution. His arrest on a charge of threatening mass violence at a school alarmed free speech advocates who said Perry County Sheriff Nick Weems had targeted Bushart because of political views. Bushart was released on Wednesday after prosecutors sought to dismiss the charge. Bushart, a 61-year-old former law enforcement officer, might know something about the law. Or probably thought he did, anyway. Had posted numerous memes on Facebook making light of Kirk's killing. Now, we don't defend this here on our show because it's in bad taste. However, it's free speech, and you cannot lock people up for it.
At least
the one that got Bushart was
under felony means you did something that's against the government, right? It's against the law. It's a huge deal.
Yeah. Oh. Somebody's arresting you for talking. All right. The one that got Bushart arrested was a meme featuring Donald Trump in the words, "We have to get over it." That quote, the meme explained, was said by Sticky the Clown last year after a school shooting in Iowa's Perry High School. We have to get over it. I have to get over my children getting murdered in their school. Yeah. But again, he applied this perfectly. It's actually perfect quote because, again, we care about this guy who's millions of dollars and won't shut the fuck up because he just incites hatred, and the hatred pays off in violence, and we're supposed to, oh boy, he's just an innocent victim. Not so at all. He incited violence. Posting the meme, Bushart wrote, "This seems relevant today." Wow. Boy, what is, we've got to get over.
Not even saying anything direct, right? No direct reference.
Yeah. Weems told news outlets most of Bushart's hate memes, which is all Trump does all fucking day, his entire life since the internet was invented. Trump does nothing but hate memes every single day, at least 50 of them, were lawful free speech. But residents were alarmed by the school shooting post, thinking Bushart was threatening the local Perry County High School. Oh, did he do that? How did he do that? How did he do that exactly? By calling attention to the hypocrisy of the right wing? Again, free speech. There's nothing in there threatening. Nothing. Again, the Facebook has this feature where you can say, oh, he's threatening terrorism. If you get enough people say, oh my God, Facebook threatened. And Facebook, again, is run by a mealy-mouthed little coward named Mark Zuckerberg, who is on his knees 24/7, doing you-know-what to you-know-who. Investigators believe Buschardt was fully aware of the fear his post would cause. Didn't cause any fear for me. I probably laughed at it if I saw it. That's funny. Intentionally sought to create hysteria within the community. Weems said in a statement...
Is that a felon? Causing fear and hysteria is a felony. Okay, well, there's a lot of politicians who need to be arrested.
Weems rhymes with reams, and that's what he's doing for Trump's butthole, because that's who he is. He's a brown-nosing, fascist-kissing loser who thinks he's going to curry favor by arresting people for expressing their free speech. He said Buschardt was arrested after refusing to delete the post. He said, F you, this is America, come and arrest me. And they did. His bail was set at $2 million, $2 million for talking. Buschardt spent more than 5 weeks in jail, and his lawyer is sitting there going, I'm going to build a new extension on my house because of this lawsuit. Oh yeah. I mean, the one that wins the case. Buschardt spent more than 5 weeks in jail before being released. Neither Weems nor Hans Schweinderman. Why don't we get the name of this judge that set the bail at $2 million? That's the guy that's got to stand for election, too.
Yeah.
$2 million. $2 million. What was he going to do? Go shoot up a skull? After you locked him up? And what was he going to shoot it up with? You took away all of his freaking guns. You locked him up. Anyway, there's your story. Anyway, let's get a quote from the man who was held. And in Tennessee, again, you have no rights in Tennessee. Just stop pretending you do. He says, I'm very happy to be going home, Buschardt told local radio station WOPC-FM after his release. I don't seek the media sensation, but here we are. Again,
most people who post memes just want to tell a joke, and that's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, here's everybody in the world celebrating every time a liberal gets, I don't know, like Nancy Pelosi's husband gets almost murdered, and they're celebrating it. Nobody got locked up for that. Trump celebrated it. Nobody got locked up. They celebrated a man, almost 80-year-old man, almost getting beaten to death. They celebrated it. Wow. What a world. Anyway, I got another story, so let's say if you're...
In a world where people aren't hypocrites, we would solve a lot of problems. Just think of that.
That's funny.
Think of a situation where you sit down, you think, you go, wait a minute, if this happened to me, I wouldn't be very happy. And then you don't do it. It's so easy. It's so easy. Yeah.
It's easy to convince people of their own bigotry and hatred is the accurate way to go, too. So even when they see something like this, they go, well, obviously he was going to shoot up a school. If you had a history of mental illness and was not allowed to possess a gun or anything like that, you might have a case, but they didn't have a case. And considering he's a retired cop, that probably ate into it, right? He probably knew him, the guy who had him arrested. Knew him. Probably the judge, too, right?
It's a conspiracy.
So, we need to know the name of the judge, because seriously, $2 million bail? Jeez. Of course, you couldn't make bail.
I can find the name of the judge. Your next story.
Let me go get a bail bondsman. Let me go find a bail bondsman. My house isn't worth $2 million. I'm a retired cop. You know. Next story. It's still in Tennessee. Oh, my goodness. Has law enforcement got problems in Tennessee? This is Nashville. Them Nashville Cats, if you know anything about the Lovin' Spoonful. Great song. Maybe we'll play that. That's going to be our mic drop. I'll try to find a copy of that. It's a great song. WSMV.com. Former Tennessee troopers say DUI quotas led to arrest of sober drivers. Holy crap. If you have a DUI in Tennessee, get yourself a lawyer. Even if you were drunk, they're going to drop the charges, they're going to expunge your record, and they're going to pay you a big old settlement. Because former Tennessee Highway Patrol troopers say there's a reason for many innocent people have been arrested for DUI in Tennessee: internal quotas and pressure to make arrests. Ashley Smith and Adam Potts, Smith and Potts, they should go into business together. Former THP troopers told WSMV4 investigates that the repeated insistence to increase DUI arrests is inadvertently resulting in innocent people being charged with DUIs. Jeremy Finley, I guess, is the story for WSMV. I don't know if I read his name or not. That's my short-term memory loss. This is corruption. We're ruining people's lives. We're being forced to ruin people's lives, Smith said. When asked if he had ever arrested a sober driver for DUI, Potts said, yes, I'm sure I have. Former Tennessee WSMV4 investigates obtained internal maps emailed to troopers in the Jackson district and recorded audio from troopers meeting in Chattanooga, which Smith and Potts say reveals the department's insistence that DUI arrests increase. In the recorded meeting, officials told the troopers to arrest every DUI that you can get your hands on and load the jail full of them. The meeting, held by Captain Patrick Turner out of Chattanooga, stipulated that troopers on the midnight shift were required to make 100 DUI arrests each year. So let's say you work 2 out of every 3 days, roughly. So there's 200 work days in a year. That's a DUI arrest every other day. Well, it could look like arresting 100 plus DUIs a year, Turner said when describing what hard work looks like for troopers. Turner can also be heard saying, you turn 33 DUIs for a year and 1.7 contacts, meaning people pulled over for violations. You're going to get spanked. 33 is not enough. We got to start arresting people who aren't drunk because we got quotas. Again, let's stop denying this shit exists. It exists everywhere. It exists for speeding tickets. The simple fact is local budgets can't be balanced unless they get fines from people, because they sure as hell ain't going to try to get from rich people. They're not going to try to get it from them. They are never going to try to get it from them. They're going to get it from you. And they're going to get them for you, even if they got to make something up. Despite the recorded statements, the Tennessee Highway Patrol, especially if you're from out of state, does make something up. You ain't coming back to that state. You're going to pay your fine. Just my opinion. Despite the recorded statements, the Tennessee Highway Patrol told WSMV4 investigates in an email that the Tennessee Highway Patrol does not have or use quotas for traffic stops, citations, or arrests, except they do. However, emails obtained through the Open Records Act show Captain Bruce McCarley sent out maps this year with the subject line, DUI map. The map shows every county and district date and every trooper with a number next to their name. The former trooper said the number represented DUI arrests made by each officer. Why are you keeping track of them for? Why are you keeping track of each officer in a DUI arrest? What is that? And there's no other reason for it unless you have a competition or a quota. Other than that, there's no reason to keep track of it. It's your job. Here's your job as a cop. Gather evidence to support a case. End of story. Not arresting people on a quota. That's not your job, jackass. Now part of your job says you're out there to defend people. Man, this pisses me off. Why would you trust any cop when you keep doing this in Tennessee? Why would you trust any cop? This is why your reputation is so shattered that we just go, okay, is this a good cop or a bad cop? It's a good cop or a bad cop. I got to behave myself. I don't know if he's going to shoot me. I don't even know. He's going to arrest me for nothing. I may never even get bail. I may never get visitors. I may not get a phone call. I might just be disappeared. This shit's happening every day in America, and we're just sitting by. You're not doing good enough because somebody else is beating you with DUIs. You need to get better, said Smith. That's the message from not getting enough DUIs. We always thought that this was a great thing because you want to get drunk drivers off the road. Do you feel like this push to get DUIs is eventually having a negative outcome? Absolutely. There's pressure to arrest DUIs, Smith said. The former trooper says state troopers are incentivized to increase DUI arrests when earning overtime specifically for drunk driving enforcement. So you earn overtime. You're not even working overtime. You're getting some bonus pay. The advantage of arresting everybody, whether they're really drunk or not, is to continue to get that premium overtime. You can prove it in court if you're innocent, I suppose. Potts said that this creates pressure for officers working. Yeah, but now I have to take a day off of
work in order to prove I'm innocent for something that I didn't do, right? Waste of time.
And if you're just a traveler through that county, right? I'll pay my fine here on the spot. I'll plead no contest or whatever. Bye. My insurance rates just went through this roof forever. So fuck these guys. Both Smith and Potts were fired by the THP. Potts pleaded guilty to leaving the scene of a single car accident involving his personal vehicle. I made a mistake, Potts said. The THP is seeking to decertify Smith, accusing her of helping a family member get out of a DEI. She's fighting that claim before the state. Smith acknowledged the department might dismiss their claims as coming from a disgruntled employee. I would have said something before. It would have been career suicide for me. The department response in August, WSM-4B4 investigates attempted to speak with the head of the THP, but Colonel Matt Perry instead got into a car and was driven away. That's what criminals do. When once again asked for an interview, but the THP spokesman instead said, statement ending in part, troopers are highly trained. They expected to use their judgment and make necessary traffic stop based on observed violations and public safety needs. That's why we have a spreadsheet keeping track of everybody's DUI arrests. That makes perfect sense. I think they really don't care about the citizens. I think they care about the way it looks, the perception, Potts said. Mm-hmm. Smith said she knows firsthand how it feels to arrest a sober driver. On August 25th, 2024, Smith said her supervising sergeant called her on the radio to tell her he'd pulled someone over, had failed to dim his headlights, and asked for assistance. They were called chicken shit stops, Smith said. It's what they were called. You get them for no tag light. Something as simple as no tag light. No light in your license plate, folks. Yeah. Frickin'. I'm just gonna.
I'm pretty sure the people who get pulled over call it a chicken shit stop too. This guy's just stopping me to get his quota.
Yep, exactly. We can get into the high-speed chases over a guy not having his seatbelt on, which is fucking hilarious, right? Let's create a traffic hazard for one guy in his own safety, by the way. No one's else's safety is involved in this guy not having a seatbelt, but cops will pull you over for it. And if you don't pull over, they'll get you in a high-speed chase and kill other people because you weren't wearing a seatbelt, which is your problem, no one else's. Unbelievable shit they fucking do. Just to fucking meet a quota. That's all it is. We gotta get a quota. I gotta be the arresting officer. I want to be a hero. I want to be a hero. I'm a hero. Oh shit, I just killed a family of 4. However, just because you have one drink doesn't mean you're impaired, Smith said. Yeah, one drink isn't drunk. Smith said when she performed a nystagmus test, which identifies voluntary eye movements, can detect possible alcohol drug use. I saw 0 nystagmus with this gentleman, 0, Smith said. Smith said her sergeant supervisor asked to examine Balcom as well. I guess that was the person pulled over. So he says, do you mind if I look? And he says, no, absolutely. He goes up there. He does a nystagmus on the guy. He says, there it is. You see it. Well, what am I supposed to do? Argue with the sergeant, Smith said. After Smith's interview, WSMB4 investigates. Then obtained a copy of the police report from the arrest. In the report, Smith wrote that Balcom had a strong odor of intoxicating substance and performed poorly on the second set of walk-in tests I administered. Smith told investigators that she moved forward with the arrest despite her initial findings. According to police report narrative, Smith wrote that the blood draw for not obtained due to the lab technician. Anyway, they didn't get blood drawn. There was no lab technician was unable to hit a vein. Okay. Smith said Balcom did, however, blow into an intoximeter. He blows into the intoximeter. He blows a 0. Okay, so he's not drunk. Smith says she now regrets the arrest, feeling she was pressured by her sergeant to take him into custody. So there's more of this crap, a couple more paragraphs. That's pretty much, you get the gist of the story. They have quotas. We know it all along. Cops got quotas, so rich people don't have to pay taxes. That's the system they have. You don't think your taxes are going up, but don't get a parking ticket. Wow, parking ticket's $80 now. Shit. What the hell? It's a parking ticket. I left my car there 5 minutes too long, you know? Yeah, it's a stupid system set up so rich people get away with everything and we got to pay for minor infractions for the rest of our lives. Yay! Yeah.
We have to pay rent. We have to pay minor infractions, and all that money adds up to millions of dollars spent on bullshit.
Yep. If you were arrested in Tennessee for anything, sue them. They are corrupt. It is a corrupt state. It's a corrupt state. It's been known for years. Okay.
Okay.
By the way, the people, The people smuggling drugs from Mississippi, where were they smuggling it to? Tennessee. So that's
To
related
sell
to
it to
them.
the cops, so that they have something
Right
to
to
put on
Memphis.
you when they get you on a drug charge.
Going right straight up there.
There's your hypothetical for
Right in
you.
the-
There's your
Yeah, right, there
hypothetical.
you go.
Smuggling
Okay.
drugs to Tennessee so you can give it to the cops, sell it to the cops, so they can put it on your body and say, "Hey, you've got
Oh, by the way.
cocaine. We're putting you in jail, and we make tons of money off of you." And the for-profit prisons are going to make tons of money off of you. You're going to have a thriving economy based on
Oh, not
prison
only
slave
that.
labor. Yay!
Cocaine, a wonderful place to hide fentanyl too. Don't forget that. Yeah, so Tennessee fucking up the country constantly, and they keep voting for people that fuck up the country constantly. So, damn it, Tennessee! You ever want me to visit
Congratulations,
Memphis?
Texas! Tennessee is our new hated state of the week. Texas has been kicked off the camp podium.
It's only Monday, and we still have Florida, so don't get too excited.
Don't worry, Texas can still disappoint us. Let's roll our next segue.
Yeah, Florida. Nobody is in Florida's league. Nobody is in Florida's league. Okay.
You're going to have to write me a limerick. Get your pen and paper out.
Oh, no. God.
For my culture news, we're going to be talking about the Day of the Dead, which is a Mexican holiday. But Spain is celebrating it. Look at that. Let's not try to go into the, think too hard about why they're celebrating it. Let's just celebrate the festival. Yeah. This is our on Your News Culture by Maria Munoz Rio. Casa de Mexico in Madrid is exhibiting the largest altar to the dead in Europe. Guillermo Gonzalez is designer of this year's showcase, which offers a cornucopia of color and dance to Mexican. The Day of the Dead is much more Spanish than Halloween, explains Susana. Why did they do Asterix? It says like, the Day of the Dead is much more Spanish than Halloween. Extras, Asterix, quotation mark, asterisk, asterisk. I was like, did they say a curse word at the end? Like, what is that? Explains Susana Diego, director of the Culture de Casa de Mexico, explaining that the importance of this tradition is that gaining an ever-increasing number of followers in Spain. In contrast to Halloween, which is a more gloomy holiday based on the sale of sweets and things which go bump in the night, Day of the Dead unites pre-Hispanic Mexican traditions with Spanish ones to celebrate life and what lies beyond death. In order to showcase Mexican customs for the 8th consecutive year, the Casa de Mexico in Madrid has set up an altar of the dead, designed for this edition by architect and photographer Guillermo Gonzalez. The Cabaret of Memories, the largest altar to the dead in Europe, is inspired by the Mexican cabaret of the first decades of the 20th century, heavily influenced by French and German cabaret. Guillermo Gonzalez wanted to base his altar on this celebration of music and dance, whose elements evoke the presence of happy souls that continue to shine even in the afterlife. Yeah, let's not be scared of death, let's celebrate it. The striking and colorful altar features several spectacular pieces, such as 12 life-size performers, 62 glass spheres, a candelabra of skeletons or bones, a small cupboard of devils, as well as a rack of more than 60 skulls, a Mesoamerican ritual structure. The skulls of those sacrificed in honor of the gods were displayed. Hey, we're gonna sacrifice you, but at least you get to go on our Hall of Fame wall. Thanks. The tour proposed by the institution takes us back to a more vibrant Mexico of the 30s and 40s. We're gonna have to start saying 1930s and 1940s because it's gonna be the 30s soon. In our time.
Right. Right.
The 1930s and 40s. A homely place with the traditional altar on the top floor. Visitors can leave a message in memory of their loved ones. Notes that once the Day of the Dead has passed, what began as a tradition among the institution's employees to have a piece of Mexican folklore on their side of the ocean has become a key day in the agenda in Spain. Hell yeah, counter-cultural revolution. Instead of being taken over by Spanish culture, they take over some of Spain with Mexican culture. The altar is becoming increasingly popular as people seek to learn more about Mexican culture and its death as another phase of existence. Since 2003, this celebration has been recognized by UNESCO as Intangible Heritage of Humanity. The 7 levels of a Day of Dead altar represent the path that the soul of the deceased must travel to reach eternal rest, symbolizing purification and protection during its journey. Although the composition may vary, the general rule that follows are placed in levels: the saint of devotion, the souls in purgatory, salt for purification, the traditional pan de muerto, the favorite food of this deceased, a photograph of the deceased, and finally a cross made of pine. Another element that cannot be missing is the marigold flower, with strong orange tones and character smell that guides the dead on their journey. The Casa de Mexico altar can be visited throughout Madrid until November 9th, so get to Spain and go visit! Guided tours last about 25 minutes and can be booked through the website of Casa de Mexico. If you would like some special tour and somebody to explain to you all the elements in case you're not Mexican, then go ahead, go there. Tickets are available at the Casa de Mexico until November. That's all I have to say. Not sponsored. Did I talk too fast?
Yeah, you did.
Oh.
I thought maybe you had 2 stories. No? Just one?
No, it's all... Culture news is usually just one, except for the past few days where I haven't had a lot.
It's really good once I finish it.
I can explain what the altar looks like. Think a stairway with purple steps leading up, and then you have... Yeah, a bunch of skeletons dressed up in cabaret. So if you've ever seen the musical Cabaret, you know, and it's the 40s and 30s, so they have kind of the post-flapper style. Lots of color.
Okay, I'm ready.
Things on their heads.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? Okay.
I wasn't really listening. I was writing. But anyway, the Day of the Dead has gone to bed. In Spain, dead spirits come to life instead. But the feeling, it was mostly just a feel. This activity was really not real, or not actually real. See, again, I'm reading it before I wrote it. Generalissimo Francisco Franco is still dead. Thank you. That rhymes with this. I can do it again after I write it. It might be better. So. Yeah, and you ripped through that story so fast. I was like, oh, you gotta catch a bus or something?
It wasn't a long story, to be fair.
Oh my god. For a limerick, man, you gotta like slow me down. Anyway, I totally misread the limerick I almost wrote. It was funny, trust me. In my head, it's terrible the way I wrote it. I'm totally disgusted. And I was totally had no time to look up a mic drop, so here I am, stuck with a mic drop because I had no time. So.
All right, I'll look for one, and let's roll our wheel for this. Don't forget to do your Monday mistakes or whatever you wanted to call that.
Yeah.
Get your list
out.
out.
Oh yeah. Okay. Completely forgot because I got discombobulated.
And I'll make you some haikus.
Next time there's a limerick, tell me the story's only 3 seconds long so I can resend.
It wasn't 3 seconds long.
Last week, we're going to do this Monday corrections. It's a new thing we're going to do because we do make a lot of mistakes and I can't catch them all. But the previous weeks I make a statement. I just wanted to correct the record. I previously called Kid Rock's music as pleasant as finding a condom on a rainy sidewalk. I apologize. What I intended to say was that Kids Rock music is as pleasant as finding a used condom on a rainy sidewalk. I apologize for any confusion that may have caused. Let's get on to this day in history.
I thought you had another one. Is that the only correction from all of last week?
Well, I'm only going to read one correction a day. I can't correct the whole record all at once.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Would you like to hear another one?
No, it's okay. I just thought you were going to read like a list of things. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. That was... No. There could be more. It depends on how inspired I am to correct things. This day in history, as I scrambled and never found it. I had an idea, but I never really got to investigate it.
You have Facebook open, right? So you can have it loaded?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just sent you the video.
Facebook. Yeah, 10 or 12 minutes from now, it should be OLED. If you're on the clock, Facebook, we're watching Marky Mark. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. 1295 in this day in history, Mahmud Ghazan, the most prominent of the Khans, a Mughal dynasty, was formally enthroned. Congratulations to him. Get him a cake. 1793, Stephen Austin was born in Virginia. Who's Stephen Austin? He's a guy Austin, Texas is named after. The founder of the principal settlements of English-speaking people in Texas in the 1820s, when the territory was still part of Mexico. He was born in Virginia, and he said, it sucks here. And then he went to Texas. He is the namesake of Texas state capital. And back then it was called Tejas, and it was part of Mexico. 1793, Olympia de Gosses, a French social reformer considered one of the world's first feminists, was executed for her political views during the French Revolution. Probably executed by the royals, I would guess, since he was a social reformer, not one of these people going, everything's just fine. 1903, Walker Evans, whose best known photographs show quotidian American life during the second quarter of the 20th century, was born in St. Louis, Missouri. 1903, influenced by Philippe Bonao Varilla and U.S. interests, a revolutionary junta proclaimed Panamanian independence in Colombia. Can't we just tell the truth? The United States wanted to own the Panama Canal, right? So they couldn't own the Panama Canal, which was completely surrounded by a country called Colombia, right? They decided, hey, Panama, you can be a country. Yeah, so Panama broke free from Colombia, and the United States had full control of it for basically until this day, really. I mean, even though we gave control to Panama, it became more of it's still a military outpost, right? It's still a military outpost for Americans, Panama City. 1912, the Bulgarian siege of Adrianople began, the major event of the First Balkan War. 1916, Eugene O'Neill made his New York City debut with a one-act play, Bound East for Cardiff. I believe it's got to be Wales, right? Is there another Cardiff? Probably.
Cardiff, Wales. Yeah, that's the only one I know.
There's one in California, but I think it's called Cardiff by the Sea, which is a totally different name. 1949, Anna Wintour, who, as the longtime editor of American Vogue, became one of the... It's her birthday. Happy birthday. She was born in London, England. She was the editor of a magazine for fashion called Vogue, if you've ever purchased that or looked at it. Magazines are a thing that used to exist. 1956, the film The Wizard of Oz aired on television for the first time. It was seen by an estimated 45 million viewers. It repeated airings in TV helped make the movie an enduring classic. And if you didn't have a color TV... I remember the first time I saw Wizard of Oz on a color TV, and it blew my mind because the first 5 times I saw it was on a black and white TV, and I had no idea that when she got to Oz, it turned into color. I had no idea. I just looked on the TV, I said, wow.
In your brain.
Yeah, black and white, yeah. Black and white doesn't mean shit. I mean, color movie doesn't mean shit if your TV can't process it. 1973, Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys Knight of Pitts topped the Billboard Hot 100. There's your Rocktober moment, even though it's November. Midnight Train to Georgia, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and Midnight Train. Why? I mean, seriously, you get on a train at midnight, man. Your life is, oh God, who gotta sleep on a train? 1978, Dominica achieved full independence with Patrick Rowland John as his first prime minister because he had 3 names. You can call him any of those. Or you could call him Pat Roll John. That was his little quick nickname. 1992, Democratic politician Carol Moseley Braun became the first African-American woman elected to the United States Senate from Illinois. We don't even want to tell you what state of... Oh, nice biography. 1998, Bob Kane died in Los Angeles. He created the comic book characters Batman and Robin. Yep, both of them, not just one of them. 1998, the Chinese government announced discovery of previously unknown segment of the Great Wall of China, which is identified in Ningxia. And that's actually, you cannot see the Great Wall of China from space. That's just a bunch of horse crap invented by the Chinese. 2014, One World Trade Center, which you also can't see from outer space, opened in New York City. It replaced the World Trade Center, which was destroyed 13 years before in New York City.
Even.
Yeah, 13 years, took them almost 30 years up they cleared. Probably still a lot of bits of people underneath it, you would think, right? They couldn't have covered everything. Horrible tragedy. 2016, the Cubs, speaking of tragedy, the Cubs won the World Series for their first time in 108 years, overcoming a 3-1 deficit against the poor Cleveland Indians, who aren't even called the Cleveland Indians anymore. They're called the Cleveland Guardians. 2024, American producer and composer Quincy Jones, 91. You know what Quincy Jones was? Well, I don't know what to tell you. He was worked with many biggest names, jazz, R&B, and pop. Of course, Michael Jackson's Thriller was his big thing. Quincy Jones, a musician in his own right, played on a lot of people's jazz records. 1957, Laika launched into space, the first dog into space. Yeah, that's right. On this day, 1957, what the heck? Our featured event. Yes, that's our featured event. November 3rd, 1957, Laika, L-A-I-K-A. I think that's Laika or Laika. I think it's Laika. A stray dog picked up by the Soviet spaceflight program became the first living creature to be launched into space and orbit Earth. And don't forget all the fleas that were getting to go into space too. Don't forget that part. So although they never left Earth's orbit, I don't really consider that leaving, getting the hell out of, getting the fuck out of Dodge, as they say. You're still not escaping. We didn't have probably the rocket capacity, maybe. I don't know. Either way, the first dog in space. Dogs in space.
Space.
Our featured biography. You got to know the Muppets show to know that one. They had a show called Pigs in Space, which is pretty good. Henry Matisse. The Muppet Show was a lot ahead of its time. Pigs in Space was quite funny. Henry Matisse, French artist, whose birthday is today. Oh, hell no, it's his death day. His birthday is December 31st. Died. He was born on December 31st, 1869. Got to be 84. He died in 1954. Almost got to be during my lifetime. He died in Nice, France. Other birthdays today. Let's run ahead here. Charles Bronson, American actor, born 1921 to be 104. Charles Bronson, he always had this look on his face. If you ever go see Magnificent Seven, is a great Charles Bronson movie, or Death Wish, where he just blows away bad guys.
The original, because I think they remade that film at some point. Yeah.
Common ordinary citizen who suffers a horrible attack to his family and decides, I'm going to kill scumbags for the rest of this movie. And that's what he does. 1933, Amartya Sen, Indian economist, was born. 1949, Anna Whitnall, British editor, was born. Also the same day, Larry Holmes, American boxer, born in 1949, almost retired undefeated, but he did something stupid and he fought Michael Spinks, who was going up a weight class, and he lost to Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks was not that great of a fighter, at least as a heavyweight, because when Michael Spinks fought Mike Tyson, I think the fight lasted 37 seconds. It was over. It was like over in the first round. It was like, there's the fight. Ding, he's done. That was it. People paid a lot of money for pay-per-view to watch Michael Spinks get knocked flat.
That's tragic.
I think I would have lasted longer in the ring than Michael Spinks against Mike Tyson, because I'd have been running around the ring and get away from him. So I would have lasted a lot longer. Anyway, 1952, Roseanne Barr is born, so it's her birthday along with Larry Holmes. She was not a heavyweight champion, although she did try. But
she did try.
Let's see if my messenger is going to load here. Yikes! I got to log off. Yikes!
You're gonna get canceled. You're canceled. You're done.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch this on my phone. Let me see if I can get it real quick. I have to switch accounts. I have 2 accounts. 3 accounts, actually. Don't tell anybody.
I also have multiple accounts. I have one for the show, one for my yoga, one private stuff, private account.
Well, I'm talking about Facebook accounts. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about Facebook too.
Oh, okay. All right, National Day today. We got Job Action Day. So I'm thinking about looking for a job, but I still haven't taken my vacation. I want to take a vacation and get a job because my eye thing. I had to not take a vacation because I had to keep seeing a doctor. So now my eye's somewhat better. I'm thinking about taking a vacation. I didn't want to miss my kids' birthdays either, so that was that. So now that's over, I might be thinking about a vacation. So job action might have to wait for me. It's National Housewives Day. Nothing about National House Husbands, but I guess maybe there's a day for them too. But if you're married to your house, you're a housewife, right? Isn't that what that means?
I wish it was that easy. No? I'm pretty sure it's for celebrating all those people who do housework and they don't get paid for it. That's for sure, right? Definitely don't get paid for it.
Still trying to log on here because internet doesn't like me. We can close National Day calendar. I mean, we can close on this day. Other national days are... Oh, that's not it either. Huh? That's not cool. Try it again. Otherwise, I'm just going to look in my phone. And it's National Sandwich Day. National Sandwich. Everybody loves a sandwich. It's quick, easy food. You can put anything in it. All your calories in one day from a sandwich, really. And it's National Broadcast Traffic Professionals Day. And I will watch the video you sent me on my phone because I'm giving up on my computer working any faster than it already is. So that's it. Those are your days. That's everything. This is your mispronunciation, your limericks, your stories about cops being dishonest, and everything else for Mucking Fun Day. Monday, November 3rd, 2025 on Before Sandwich.
Before sandwich. Delicious.
Yes.
Of course.
Delicious sandwich.
I have your haikus here. Let's go ahead and read them.
Okay.
First, Heart in the Void. Oh, wings of silence wrap her tight. Stars cradle her soul. That's about Laika, our space dog. Trailblazer of hope. Okay. Carol stands with strength and pride. Voices rise like dawn for our first black woman senator, which is way too late.
Carol Mosley Braun.
In soft morning light, household rhythms weave and hum. Love in every task. That's for your housewives, which I'm sure they love doing chores, just like everyone else does.
Sorry,
there's no International UN Days today, but yesterday was End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists, so make sure that you're protecting those journalists from crimes. Killing a journalist is a war crime, okay? And if you do that, you're guilty. Damn you.
Yeah. Tell Putin.
Yep, exactly. This has been
Netanyahu.
Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. as we finish off on Mucking Fun Day. Welcome back from the weekend, everyone. Let's hope you have a good week. We'll see you tomorrow for Good Tuesday News Day, so you can get all the good news this week to have some hope for humanity again. Make sure you're following on Twitch or subscribed on YouTube and turn those notifications on so you live and video. We also have a Patreon if you would like to support us on Patreon. That link's in chat now. Let's go to our mic drop moment.
History Pod.
Hello and welcome to
Let's
History
talk
Pod.
about Laika.
On the 3rd of November 1957,
They made postcards for
Laika
this
the
dog.
dog became the
This
first
stray off the
animal to
street.
enter orbit around the Earth when she was
Nearly
launched into space
70
on board
years
the
ago.
Soviet spacecraft Sputnik 2.
Imagine
Laika
having
was a
those-
stray dog who was found on the streets of
Those
Moscow.
stamps. You could sell them for
Strays
a lot of
from
money.
Moscow
maybe.
were specifically chosen for the
They
mission
took a
on the
picture.
assumption that they'd
You just
already
add a
learned
train
how to
station.
deal with extreme temperatures
That-
and
that- I
prolonged
mean,
periods without food. Despite this preconditioning, Laika and 2 other dogs selected by the scientists still
She
had
looks
to undergo
smaller than
extensive
in that
training
photo.
ahead of the mission. This included having to endure long periods of
We
time
have a little
in
dog
cramped conditions,
outfit for
extreme
that
G-forces on
space
centrifuges,
outfit.
and exposure to loud noises to simulate the
Is
conditions
this
of
is the
spaceflight.
definition of the dog's best friend right
Laika
here.
was never intended to return to Earth, as the technology to re-enter the atmosphere
we can put the
had
dog
not
in
yet
Oh,
been
it's
space.
got
developed.
some British
Despite this,
propaganda right
the
there.
launch of a canine into space was
British
seen by the Russian scientists as a precursor
Yeah,
to
the Daily
human
Mirror.
We will
spaceflight
put the dog in
order to
space
determine the
before
effect of
humans put the
launch
monkey in
and
space.
prolonged
Before
weightlessness
Americans
on
put
a
the
living
monkey in
passenger.
space. Before
Throughout
human
the
go.
mission, scientists
my
on the
best
ground
Russian.
monitored
Sorry.
data coming
Well,
from
it
sensors
doesn't look
attached
angry.
to
It
Laika.
looks very happy
The
to be
readings
there. I
indicated
guess.
significant stress, but she survived the launch and made 4 circuits of the Earth before dying of overheating as a result of a malfunction in the temperature control system. The exact cause of her
That's
death
bound to happen,
was
sadly,
only
yeah.
confirmed in 2002.
And you can't tell a dog
Laika's
to
death
fix it.
raised ethical questions about the use of animals in scientific research, as the
Poison and
spacecraft
last
was not
food to end
designed to be
suffering.
retrievable. She was, therefore, knowingly sent on a
Decompression.
mission from which she would not return.
Decompression's the thing, man.
But then we learned about
The
it thanks to
astronaut-
Laika, so...
Astronauts that go into space cannot walk. All right, they come back, they can't walk. There's no gravity out there. There's nothing that gives them any weight. So the gravity of Earth totally inhibits them from
Crushes
walking
you.
until they.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels: Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.